Have you ever found yourself lying awake at 3 o'clock in the morning, staring at the ceiling, and mentally running through every possible financial disaster that could strike tomorrow? Maybe it's the fear that your car will break down on the way to work, or your laptop will finally die right before a deadline, or your pet will need an emergency surgery you can't afford. If that sounds familiar, you aren't alone. Most people are financial sleepwalkers, stumbling through life wondering why, despite working 40 hours a week, their paycheck feels like a temporary guest in their bank account. The moment your money hits your account, you have a tiny 15-second window before your brain starts making survival-based decisions, calculating how much you can blow on takeout or that gadget in your online cart. But what if those 15 seconds were the start of your freedom? Most people try to build wealth in the complete wrong order. They're picking out granite countertops for a house that doesn't even have a foundation yet. Today, we're going to stop the bleeding. I'm going to give you the exact mathematically proven hierarchy to invest your money so you can stop playing defense and start building a life you actually enjoy. Step 1, the shield, the 1,000 to 2,000 buffer. The very first thing you need isn't a stock tip, it's a shield. Before you invest a single dollar in the market, you must establish a starter emergency fund of $1,000 to $2,000. I know that sounds boring. It's not a 1,000% return on a crypto coin, but the impact is purely psychological. When you have zero savings, a check engine light is a life-altering catastrophe that ruins your month. But when you have that $2,000 buffer, that same light becomes a minor annoyance. You're no longer gasping for financial air. Research shows that people with at least $2,000 in savings have financial well-being scores 21% higher than those without it. This is the point where you move out of survival mode, where your brain is filtered through fear and scarcity and into a space where you can finally think about growth. You aren't trying to get rich off this money. You're trying to stay stable when life gets chaotic. It should be kept in a boring, high-yield savings account where it's liquid and accessible, not locked in the stock market where it could lose value right when you need it. Step 2, killing the financial cancer. High-interest debt. Once your shield is up, you have to fix the holes in your bucket. There's no point in trying to fill a bucket with a giant hole in the bottom if you are investing in the stock market, hoping for an 8% or 10% return. While your credit card is charging you 22% interest, you are losing money every single day. High-interest debt, which we define as anything over 8%, is financial cancer. It grows faster than almost any investment return you could reasonably expect. Carrying a $5,000 balance on a card with 20% interest means you are throwing away nearly $1,800 a year just in interest payments. That's money making the credit card companies rich instead of building your future. The most efficient way to kill this debt is the avalanche method. List your debts by interest rate and throw every extra dollar at the one with the highest rate first. Every dollar you'd use to pay down a 22% credit card is essentially a guaranteed 22% return on your money. You cannot find a guaranteed return that high anywhere else on earth. Once you eliminate this debt, you stop being a wealth pretender who looks rich on the outside but has zero savings on the inside. Step 3, claiming your 100% raise, the employer match. There is exactly one exception to the pay off debt first rule. The employer match. If your boss offered to give you an extra $3,000 this year, but you just had to put it in a retirement account, you take it, right? That is exactly what a 401k match is. It's free money. It is an immediate guaranteed 100% return on your investment. Even if you are still tackling high interest debt, you should contribute just enough to get the full match. Passing this up is like declining a raise or using a $20 bill to light a cigarette. Once you've captured that match, you can redirect your focus back to killing the rest of your high-interest debt. This foundation, emergency fund, debt elimination, and employer match creates the bedrock of your financial house. Without these, you are building on quicksand. Step 4, the tax optimization zone, HSA and IRA. Now that the cancer is gone and you've got your free match, we enter the tax optimization zone. This is where you stop feeding the government and start feeding your future self. First, look at the health savings account. HSA. This is often the most underutilized investment vehicle in America. It has a triple tax advantage. Your contributions are tax deductible, the growth is tax-free, and your withdrawals for medical expenses are tax-free. It's the only account that lets you hide money from the IRS on the way in, while it grows, and on the way out. A pro tip: pay for your current medical costs out of pocket if you can. Keep the receipts, and let that HSA money compound for decades. You can reimburse yourself 20 years from now, tax-free. Next, maximize your individual retirement account, IRA. IRAs often offer lower fees and more control than employer-sponsored 401ks, which are sometimes filled with expensive funds that eat your wealth like termites in a wooden house. You'll have to choose between traditional, tax break now, and Roth, tax break later. For most beginners and young people, the Roth is a secret weapon because your money grows completely tax-free. You're planting a tree today and never having to pay taxes on the fruit it produces for the rest of your life. Step 5. Avoiding the wealth destroyer. Traps. As you move through this order, the biggest threat to your progress isn't the stock market, it's lifestyle inflation. This is why people earning six figures can still feel broke. The most common trap is the car payment trap. The average new car payment has climbed to over $700 per month. If you took that $700 and invested it in a simple index fund instead, it could grow to over $900,000 over 40 years. When you buy a gleaming monster of a truck with an 8-year loan, you are essentially paying for a lifestyle dream that destroys your wealth with every mile. Then there's the house poor trap. Many people are told a $500,000 house is a starter home beyond, but the real math is brutal. Between the mortgage, property taxes, insurance, and the 1% maintenance rule, a $160,000 household can end up spending 46% of their take-home pay just on housing. They become prisoners in their own homes, too stressed to actually enjoy the life they're working for. Real wealth isn't a granite countertop. It's margin in your budget. The tipping point. From $10,000 to the snowball building. Wealth isn't linear. It's a snowball rolling down a mountain. Reaching your first $10,000 is the hardest part because you're doing all the heavy lifting yourself. But once you hit that milestone, your relationship with risk changes. You carry yourself differently in job interviews because you have walking away money. When you hit $20,000, you've officially rewired your brain. You've proven you can delay gratification and control your money instead of letting it control you. By the time you're each times 100,000, the math starts to get comical. It might take you 8 years to save your first $100,000, but only 5 more years to double it to $200,000 because your money is finally doing the work for you. The goal of this hierarchy isn't just to see a larger number in a bank account. It's about an identity shift. You are no longer someone who is bad with money or a financial sleepwalker. You are a wealth builder. You are someone who understands that every dollar is a tiny building block for your future freedom. Stop trying to look wealthy with designer logos and new car smells that impress people who don't even care about you. Start being wealthy by following the system, automating your investments, and staying under a 60% necessity threshold. Your future self, the one who sleeps soundly at night, free from 3 a.m. anxiety, is counting on the decision you make today. Start with step 1. Save that first $1,000, build your shield, and let the snowball start rolling.